Hi, I'm Christy Eidson, your hostess with the mostest, and this is the Laugh or Cry podcast. In this podcast, we'll talk about comedy, music, movies, TV, and all things pop culture. And today, we're going to talk about that Netflix smash Tiger King. We're also going to talk about coronavirus, The Walking Dead, the finale of Modern Family, and Mama June, Not the Hot. I know, I shouldn't be listening to that stuff, but I totally did. Well, stay tuned. Starting off, we're talking about coronavirus, which is on everybody's mind right now. It's getting a little crazy in certain parts of the world. People in Birmingham, England, are setting fire to G5 masts. These are the cell phone towers. They think somehow that there's a link to that, to the coronavirus, that it's not a virus, it's caused by these G5 towers. So Mobile UK is playing damage control. They're trying to stop people from thinking of these towers as what's causing the coronavirus. People have lost their mind. This is about as plausible as windmills causing cancer. People, what the hell is wrong with you? Now, I love a conspiracy theory just as much as the next guy, but I'm thinking there is no meat to this. I mean, come on, people. Setting stuff on fire because you think. That's like saying, oh, here's this drug. I think it's going to cure it. I'm basing it on no fact other than I got a feeling. Who does that sound like? Trump. Anyway, Boris Johnson, which is basically England's Trump, is hospitalized right now. He's gone to the hospital because he's had a persistent fever and cough. But he's saying, he's seeming kind of nice today. He's all right, but he is still hospitalized. The Queen Mother, she made one of her very rare public speakings to her country and applauding everybody for the hard work they're doing, thanking people for staying at home. It was brief, like maybe 4 minutes long, but she had poise, calm, confidence, and strength, something some of our leaders could take a page out of, all right? Thank you, Queen. Thank you. I kind of am sort of thinking about wanting to join forces with you again. Just saying things aren't working out too well here in America right now. Because Georgia, you just have to try to out Florida, don't you? Their governor, Georgia's governor, Brian Kemp, has decided to open up the beaches even though they're on a stay at home. Stay at home is in place right now. And this supersedes any local bans. So if you have like a local city that says, hey, no, you can't go to the beach. The governor just gave you the bird and said, ha, you can. I trump you. Pardon the pun. Florida governor, all right, Ron DeSantis. He is deeming churches as essential, saying it's okay if you go ahead and join your church for Sunday or Easter. Now, he issued a mandatory stay-at-home in Florida, but churches are the exception. Rodney Howard-Browne, he was the preacher that was arrested in Tampa for breaking this and holding church last week, and he cited the First Amendment. I say, you know what, guys, go ahead. You just do your church congregations, because I think we need to wipe a lot of stupid people out, and maybe this coronavirus is what's going to do it. So while I stay at home and safe, you guys gather all you can, and we'll just nip this in the bud as quick as possible by having the stupid people die and the smart people living. And let's be honest, churches, you're not doing this because you feel like the Lord's word is important and that you have this need to congregate with your folk. You're doing this to rake in all that Easter money. Every Sunday that you're closed, that's less money your church is making. Yeah, you big churches, if you have congregations of over 1,000 people, I think you need to be taxed. If your church service looks like a rock concert, you need to be taxed because you're not doing it for the word of the Lord. I'm sorry. You're doing this because you want to rake in that money. You are the opposite of what the church is meant to be. You are valuing money over human life, and you should be so ashamed of yourself. Am I judging? Hell yeah, I am. Totally am. Cruise ships are trying to dock in Florida. So the problem, what do you do? What do you do? Because these boats, they're just recirculating bad air. So say you're not sick. Well, there's a chance you're going to get it because all this old contaminated air is getting pumped through the ships. So if you don't have it, there's a good chance you're going to get it. What do? Who wants to take them in? But yet they can't just sail around forever. They've got limited supplies, I'm sure. And it's just a death trap. If I didn't want to do a tour before, I sure as balls don't want to do a cruise now. Sorry, nothing about it sounds good to me. A bunch of people trapped on a water death trip? No, I'm fine. I am totally fine being on dry land. Before Florida went and closed everything down, J-Lo and A-Rod, Jennifer Lopez, decided she had to get in one last workout before the gyms closed. Now, there was an exception for gyms with a capacity of 10 or less, so I guess J-Lo and A-Rod had a private training session, maybe. I'm hoping that's what it was. But of course, this is the same governor that left beaches wide open for spring break amid the panic, and then at the last minute said, oh man, maybe we shouldn't have these open. You think? National parks finally are closing. And now I'm a big proponent of going out, getting you some fresh air, because I really think we don't get enough vitamin D. Just literally being in the sun, no sunblock on at all for 20 minutes will do so much benefit for your health. Not only for the vitamin D, but it helps reduce your stress level too. Highly recommend it. The problem is, you got these knuckleheads that are going in droves to these parks, definitely not staying 6 feet apart, coughing without putting their hands over their mouth. Joshua Tree finally closed because so many people were showing up and just trashing the place. Tons of people from out of town are flooding this park and other parks, I'm sure, too. Governor Cuomo finally had to close the playgrounds because people wouldn't stop crowding the basketball courts and the play equipment. Now, Andrew Cuomo, brother of Chris Cuomo on CNN, Chris has tested positive for coronavirus, and he has been staying home, isolating himself in his basement, and he's gone on and talked about some of the effects that the virus has had on him. Like, he's had trippy hallucinations, not dreams, hallucinations. He's had hallucinations that his father, his dead father, Mario Cuomo, sitting on the bed talking to him, which of course isn't real, not a dream, but he's hallucinating this is happening. Celebrities are just now getting hit. So I think it's hitting home with us like, oh, wow. Okay, this isn't a hoax. Real people are getting this. Pink and her 3-year-old son tested positive for COVID-19. They were getting symptoms. They went and got tested and have recovered now. And now they've tested negative. She was so blown away with the lack of preparedness in our country, but the great job that the healthcare facilities have done that she's donated $1 million, $500,000 to 2 different organizations to kind of help with the testing and development of research on the COVID-19. Stacy's mom, singer, Fountains of Wayne, Adam Schlesinger, I'm butchering the name, died last Wednesday, as a result of coronavirus complications. He was only 52. 52. That is super young. He seems like he's in good health and is dead. If you don't know that song, hello, Cat. If you don't know that song, he was also the singer of that movie, That Thing You Do with Tom Hanks. So, yeah, if I know you, you're doing that thing you do. Much better version than mine, of course. It's getting serious, man. Like, movies are pushing back the release dates. Top Gun Maverick, that was supposed to come out this summer. They've pushed that back to December. The new Minions movie, they're pushing that to 2021. South by Southwest and a lot of music festivals have completely shut down and canceled their music festivals. But South by Southwest's film festival is going to be streaming on Amazon Prime Video. So you can still see the film festival. So that's cool. Gun sales, I don't think I have to tell you, have gone through the roof. Guns and ammo are flying off the shelves everywhere, as Americans seem to be prepping for a worst-case scenario, but so far cops don't seem to be very worried about a spike in violence, maybe because everyone's in their house. A record number of Americans, 3.7 million people, according to the FBI, have applied for background checks last month alone to purchase guns. Now, nothing says, wow, we've really got this under control, then almost 4 million people who've never owned a gun are now owning guns. Now, hopefully some of these are people just buying multiple, guns. Maybe they needed another one. But I'm betting money a lot of these people are first-time gun owners. And with a lot of the ranges being closed for the stay-at-home, okay, I'm assuming a lot of these guys don't have carry permits. I'm assuming a lot of them don't have any formal training whatsoever. Some of them, I'm betting, have never even shot a gun. That is frightening. That is frightening. That is like saying, you know what, there's a gas shortage. This isn't even a good analogy, but like gas shortage, I'm going to buy a sports car, even though I don't have a license and I've never driven, and I'm just going to drive on the Autobahn. Again, a terrible example, but that's basically what you're saying to me if you buy a gun and you've never shot it, and you're in panic mode, your stress levels are elevated, shit's going to go down. People are already, like, one guy got arrested for strangling another person over keeping 6 feet away. People, you should be excited that you don't have to go to work. No one is making you go to work for a month. You are good to stay at home. You're required to stay at home. Are you going to be late on bills? Yeah. And I got to tell you, some of you obviously have never been poor. You're pretty much showing that you've never been poor because you're freaking out about this. I'm whooping it up. I'm like, oh yeah, hell to the yeah. I don't have to work. I'm required to stay home. You mean it's my job now to sit and watch television? Hell to the yeah, sign me up. I'm ready to do 2 months of this. As long as I have enough money to buy food, load up on some Pepsi and Cheetos, I'm golden. Because NES is not going to be cutting off my electric anytime soon. Water companies aren't shutting off, so we've done a moratorium, at least here in Nashville, for cutting off utilities. Rent, that's another story. They're like, well, we'll put you on a payment plan. Well, that's not going to help me a lot if I don't have money coming in. But we'll see how this rolls, because I don't think they're going to be able to go forward with any evictions anytime soon. So there is a plus to that. And here's the thing. You guys, I hear so many people that are like, oh, if I had the time, if I just had more time, but work is taking a toll and this and that and the other. If I just had time, there's so many things I would do. I would start this new business, or I would write this play, or I would do this. You've got nothing but time. You want to learn an instrument? You've got that instrument laying around? Go on YouTube. There's tons and tons of tutorials to teach you how to play something. You want to write a book, a play, a song? Pull out your laptop. Get a notebook. Doesn't matter. You've got the time to do it now. So anyone that says, I'm so bored at home, fuck you. You've got so much time to do stuff. You should be happy as a pig in shit right now. But all I'm hearing is complaining, like, oh, I've got cabin fever. I want to go outside. Do you have a porch? Do you have a patio? Is there a little strip of green grass that you could go sit in right now in the sun? Then shut the fuck up and go do it. Why are you listening to me right now when you should be outside in the sun? Now, that being said, continue listening because I want you to hear. I've got great information in this podcast for you to hear coming up next. And if you'd like to support this podcast, I'm going to have links in the description on how you could, if you'd like to tip, either Venmo or PayPal, you can click on those. Even $1 would be greatly appreciated. So I think anything you can do or can't do, that's fine. I'm just glad you're listening. Now we're talking about the Tiger King. Oh my God, everybody has been talking about it, right? So Exotic Joe, he is like that redneck gay uncle that you only see every other Christmas, right? He in jail for murder for hire. And allegedly, he's got COVID-19 in jail. So is this the end to the Exotic Joe saga? Somehow, I feel that his inbredness and possibly the meth will be his saving grace, and that will lead him to live on forever, I'm assuming. If you've seen, I think it's like 7 episodes, and I hear there's going to be another extra episode coming out this week on Netflix. There's all kinds of characters in this. I mean, it is a potpourri of redneck backwoods perviness. There's 1, maybe 2 redeeming people in the entire thing. And one of them I'm rooting for is the chick allegedly murdered her husband. I'm like, well, she's kind of the good guy in this, if you want to be honest. Shaquille O'Neal was featured in it, and he's pumping the brakes. He's like, whoa, 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 whoa. I am not friends with Joe Exotic. Exotic Joe, I'm not friends with him. Even though he's featured on the show, he said in his podcast, the big podcast with Shaq, he says he had no idea that things were as bad as they were at the zoo. Like, he just rolled up in there a few times, seen the animals. Who doesn't want to see a tiger, right? Who doesn't want to see a lion? I know I do. If there's a monkey, I want to touch that monkey. It's going to happen, right? He's made donations to this place, but he makes donations all the time. That's what he does. But he says in no way does he support the mistreatment of animals. So, bully to you, Shaquille. Now, on the opposing end of celebrity, O.J. Simpson, I find this ironic. Ironic. He says he thinks Carol Baskin killed her husband. Well, I guess he would know. Pot, meat kettle. He says, there's not a shred of doubt in my mind that the lady's husband is Tiger Sashimi right now. This is what O.J. says. He says, I'm just saying. And then he goes on to say, white people, what's with you and wild animals? Leave them alone. Wow, OJ, dude, you just got out of jail not that long ago, year or two ago, for like murder. Not exactly murder, but pretty much murder. Keep your fucking mouth shut. If I got out of jail, I wouldn't be saying shit to anybody. If people ask me, is it going to be a pretty day today? Only positivity would be coming out of my mouth. I would say nothing inflammatory about someone else because let's be honest, OJ, you fucking did it. You wrote a book, How I Would Have Done It, or something along that lines was the title. You know you did it. You got off. Bully for you for getting off. I guess if you've got enough money, you can make anything happen. But how dare you point your bloody glove finger at someone else? But, oh well. You know, Exotic Joe, let's be honest, if you watched it, there was the fire that destroyed all the extra footage that Rick had, and it killed tons of alligators. My favorite part is whenever he tried to have like an emotional interview, he'd be like, oh wait, I messed up, let's do that again. Like, he redid that one 4 times or something, like, no, they were boiled alive. No, let me try that again. Let's be honest. You set the fire, Joe. I have no doubt in my mind that Joe set that fire. Let's be real here. Some of that footage that Rick had probably did not put Joe in the best light. And I love that he's pointing the finger at Rick, like, oh, Rick is in cahoots with that Carol damn Baskins. That Carol fucking Baskins. And I bet she paid him $10,000. I love how he comes up with all these amounts of money and how it happened when we know for a fact that he gave money to poor Alan. Alan, who's just dumb as the day is long. Bless his heart. Anything for some money. He's living in a trailer. Yeah, that doesn't look like it has any air conditioning or anything in it. They're eating expired Walmart meat. I mean, I think they're just happy for anything. And he saw this as all right, okay, I'll do it. It's like, Joe says to Alan, I need you to clean the tiger pens. I want you to clip the lion's nails. Oh, and I need you to go down to Florida and murder Carol Baskins. And he's just like, well, okay, give me, what, can I take lunch? You know, that's how I just see this guy. There was footage in there of Joe actually killing animals for fun, is what Rick said. He says, he walked up to a tiger he didn't like and just shot it in the head. Do I believe that's true? Hell's to the yeah, I do. Hell's to the yeah, I do. Because, I mean, we saw him, like, if a tiger got a little surly with him, he started whipping it. You know, I'm like, you don't do that. Maybe if you're trying to save your life, you do, but not, like, to reprimand the animal for being an animal, right? Oh my God. Talking about like one of the cubs, right? So she goes, she cried and said, this is some woman who's trying to give up her horse. Like, I don't have any room for it. I can't take care of it. Will you take care of it? So this is Rick saying, she cried and said, Joe, could you take care of my horse? I can no longer take care of him and you have a lot of space. This is all coming from Rick. And he says, he hugged her. And then Joe says, oh yeah, hon, it'll be fine. You leave the trailer and we'll bring the trailer back tomorrow. We'll put him out in the pasture and give him a good place. Well, according to Rick, As soon as the lady left the park, Joe said, Rick, grab your camera, start rolling. And I rolled on him. He walks up to the trailer, pulls out his gun. This is Joe, pulls out his gun, shoots the horse in the head dead, and laughs. And then, of course, he fed the horse to the lions. Now, we heard in the documentary him saying that he fed the lions and tigers horse meat. So he's basically agreeing with Rick's story here, right? Rick goes on to say the man had no friends. He really had no friends because every time he got a friend, he either took money from them or screwed them over somehow. The guy is really sad. Oh, yeah, I think we saw it. Like, he screwed Jeff, but Jeff kind of screwed him. Jeff, let's be honest, Jeff Lowe's kind of a douchebag, too. Oh, my God. He gets these hot chicks. It's got to be his money. It can't be his glowing personality or stunning good looks, right? So he is woozing these women. He gets this one woman to marry him, I guess, knocks her up, and then is like, I'm going to pick out this nanny, and I'm fucking all these other girls on the side, and you can fuck them too. Creepy dude, creepy. Lot of creepy pedophile type dudes in this show. That's why I'm leaning toward the zookeeper Carol. She's like, you know what? Because her husband was like 40 when he met her. She was 19, on the side of the street. He picks her up. He would go to Costa Rica all the time without her, and supposedly had a girlfriend there too. So, I'm not feeling too bad that old Don's dead. He kind of had that coming too. He liked his ladies. So, all right, then Rick goes on to say, he just knew he had a whole lot of money coming into the zoo in cash, and he didn't have to report it, and he could buy himself his little boy toys and his drugs and whatever else. Well, we've seen it. That is true coming from Rick because we saw it with that one guy, Travis. Travis wasn't even gay, really. I mean, gay for pay, I guess. Wasn't even gay for real, but was like, oh, you got meth? All right. We don't know if they ever actually had sex. I'm assuming it had to happen because Travis was knocked out, boinked, whatever. But Carol Baskin. Now, she's the owner of Big Cat Rescue outside of Sarasota, Florida. Again, husband was a perv. Don't feel bad about that. But when they show that meat grinder, I find it hard to believe that you could feed a human, even if you've got it separated up. Just because I think the parts would be so big, it would catch in it. But I don't know. Maybe it would. I don't know. I don't know a lot about grinders. I'm saying if you did want to get rid of a body, that would be a pretty good way to do it. So, hoorah for her. And you're in Sarasota. A lot of alligators. Like, you could make that body go away if you really wanted to. And I have no doubt you can find a pig farm around there. A lot of pervy men on the show grooming these young girls for sex cults. Doc and Jeff Lowe, honestly, the worst human beings ever. If either of them or both of them got mauled by a tiger, I'd pay money to see that. I like to sit close enough where I'm eating my popcorn and watching them get murdered by these tigers. I would say, hoorah. Hoorah. Jeff Lowe with his I live in Vegas and his affliction shirts and bedazzled jeans. He just looks like a douchebag. The worst part, the part that made me want to take Joe Exotic and punch him in the throat, when these tiger babies are being born and he's dragging them through a fence away from the mother who's still in labor, so can't do anything about it. Just so we could have those cubs. They got to take him in early. Just left him crying. He seemed annoyed that the little cub is crying in its crib. I wanted to go there personally and shoot him in the fucking head. Yeah, Joe Exotic, you deserve to get coronavirus, and I do hope you die of it, along with a lot of other people. But yeah, leave the fucking tigers alone. Yeah, I believe we should conserve them. I think there needs to be a lot more conservation done because there are more living in captivity than in the wild. But doing it the way they're doing it is not the way it should be done. Enough for that. And speaking of killing people, The Walking Dead season finale postponed until later this year because the production hasn't finished when the coronavirus outbreak began. If you watched this last episode, oh my God, I was crying like a baby. I love the interaction between Negan and Lydia. The Daryl and Judith time was phenomenal. Who's the ninja that was fighting Aaron? I don't know if that was at the very tail end of the show or if that's the preview that I saw, but I'm like, who's the ninja? Is it going to be Maggie? Is it going to be Virgil coming back to help? Is it a new character? Is it Heath? Where the hell has Heath been? Heath has been MIA for many seasons. He was there 1 minute and then he's gone. I think we know that he's with another group. We don't know who. Princess is freaking adorable. I love the character. The actor that they picked is spot on perfect with the comic. I mean, it looks like she just literally jumped out of the comic. She is fantastic. I love her. I love the interaction between her and King Ezekiel. I love that King is keeping his kingness on the down low to not look pretentious and old for Princess. I just love that interaction. But when Negan was like, hit me, just hit me, it'll make you feel better. And then he's hugging Lydia with a tear in his eye, bawling like a little bitch. That was me on the couch watching that. And then Daryl, when Daryl's just like, Judith is being such a big person, and she's like, she runs and hugs him. I'm like, oh my God, that's my baby. That is my baby. God, I love her. I wanted to reach through the television and hug her myself. Sweetest little girl. FYI, I saw a preview. She's going to be coming up in the fall, a show called Creep Show. I think also on AMC. I don't know that for sure, but the show is Creep Show, and she's going to be in it. I'm like, oh my God, you are 9 and you're getting so much more work than anybody I know. That's fantastic. Beta, I gotta tell you, for the beta parts, I had to put on the closed captioning because I could not understand crap of what they were saying. But it's like, faith. But it was mumbling, so I couldn't understand it, so I had to put the closed captions on. Fantastic show. If you're not watching it, wow. I'm loving it. Like, I think it only gets better and better. I love the show. Love it to death. And again, Negan, not too hard on the eyes. I would fill those dimples up with water and swim in them. I totally would. Modern Family? Goodbyes. Modern Family's ending 11 years with its series finale. I'm assuming it's this week. It's going to be a 1-hour episode. It's going to be preceding a documentary called A Modern Farewell, which will look back at the show's creation and run. Now, I think it's appealed to so many people. One, because it's got such a variety of different people in there. You've got your gay couple, you've got your younger lady, older guy, your quasi-traditional family, you've got your minority that's just come to America. It's got so much. It appeals to such a broad range of people. But it uses more than one comedy device, which I love. It goes from physical and slapstick to satire and wordplay, deadpan to topical. So many different comedy devices are used, and that's why I think it has been the greatest show that has been on primetime TV in definitely 10 years, 10 if not 20. So, hoorah, it's going to hate to see it go, but you know it's going to be in syndication forever. Mama June, I swear, I've only seen like a couple of the Honey Boo Boo shows. But for some reason, this Not Hot has attracted me. It's, along with Little Women LA and Sister Wives, are train wrecks of shows. Now, I will have to say Little Women LA I actually like because I learned from that show. But Mama June, that's definitely like this train wreck that you just gotta watch. You just gotta, it's like Tiger King. No, it can't get worse. Oh, yep, it just got worse. It did. So there's a device called Cameo. It's an app or something where people can leave personalized messages to you, celebrities, and they'll have a variety of prices. So like June is asking $25 for each personalized video. It's like, a few seconds. It's like, oh, hey, this is June saying hi to Christy, blah, blah, blah. So it's short and sweet. And now she's charging a little bit less than some of her bigger name counterparts that are taking part in Cameo. But cash is cash, and that adds up if she gets a lot of requests coming in. And even Honey Boo Boo has been racking in up on the Cameo cash after joining the site, and she's charging $20. So if you got $20, you could say, Honey Boo Boo, leave me a video message. I guess people are paying that. I don't even know. I gotta tell you, Mama June has been coming up with some money, I guess because she's got a meth habit maybe now. I don't know, gambling or something. She spent a lot of time in casinos. But she emerged on social media a few weeks back pushing a weight loss product called BoomBod. Don't know that she's using it herself because it looks like she's packing it back on again. Bless her heart. She's under stress because her boyfriend Gino, they were at a Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Hollywood, Florida. Before that, they were in a casino in Alabama. So I don't know what the allure is for all these casinos. One of them, I'm assuming, has a gambling addiction. Whatever. It said she was wandering around aimlessly and seemed undeterred by the new coronavirus safety guidelines. So this heifer is, I guess she's quarantined herself in a casino. I don't know. But she's just walking around not caring that there's a coronavirus. She's probably one of these dumbasses that are like, it's just the flu. It's just a flu. Heifer, you are not in good health. You need to not be getting around other people where you can get that stuff. Just saying. Well, that's my ranting and raving for today. Thank you so much for listening to today's show. If you like the show, please subscribe to the Laugh or Cry podcast and give it a great rating. If you didn't like it, you just keep your damn mouth shut. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and check out the website at laughrcrypodcast.com. You can listen at Laugh or Cry on Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and everywhere awesome podcasts can be heard. I'm Christy Eidson, and you've just been listening to Laugh or Cry.